I'm Insomniac.
And I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit,
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
Was good.
And that one was pretty decent. I'd like to see something.
Alright, we're at episode 27 of Shooting the Shit, a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
You sure?
Yeah, for once.
Okay.
Yeah, we're at episode 27. And we have a couple of topics for you this week. They're kind of related. They're from two different people, though. One of them's from Chris Graham, and it's just Irrational Fears. And the other one is from Chris Surfazo. That's what, the third time I've screwed that name up on camera. And it is, what is the scariest memory or moment that involved a vehicle? So which one are we starting with?
Well, irrational fears should be over quickly. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I can say a lot about irrational fears, really. But now you got irrational and then fears. Fear in and of itself, I mean, I don't know. I think just about all fear is probably irrational. I mean, that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. What is my irrational fear? We didn't even get started. What the hell?
Hey, we're shooting an episode of
Bourbon
Shooting the
whiskey,
Shit,
Eddie's taking a
which
fucking phone call.
I forgot completely
What the?
about. All right. I'll call you back when I'm done.
Wow.
Bye.
I hope he leaves that in. That'll be good.
That interrupted me pouring my whiskey here.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Go ahead.
Fucking A.
Irrational fears or something.
Yeah, I was saying, to me, all fear is irrational, I guess. At this point in my life, I'm starting to realize that. However, here's something that I'm going to say on camera that now the whole world could hear, and it's a fact, and had been a fact. Come a long way, but it's a struggle. I had the most irrational fear there is, which turns into agoraphobia. Go look that up, which is you don't even go out of the house. You don't, points in my life I've been really bad. So that's like the biggest irrational fear you could have. So asking about irrational fears, that's one that I had. This is a big topic. I mean, I don't want to really say a lot on it because I realize intellectually that, to me, all fear just about is irrational. Some fear could be good for you. We know how that goes. But, when we run away with anything and it distracts your life and inhibits your life and impedes your life, it fucking ruins your life. So, but that's it. There's I had the worst of them all. I say had, but, man, I could struggle depending on the day. But that's the biggest. As past that, I don't know if I can say I have like a specific irrational fear like spiders or, I don't know if I'm afraid of much individually. I mean, things. Well, no, that's not true because then we're both going to say this. I have never flown. So realistically, I don't know if I'll ever go up in a plane. I got to say that before I die, and I'm 56. I'm not afraid of heights, though. I mean, I really ain't. I'm not afraid of heights at all. I don't know if I ever will fly. I don't know. I mean, I just confessed to a problem that I've had. And believe me, if you let fear get a hold of you, it'll destroy your life. So it's a tough topic for me. I don't like it, but I'm glad we're doing it. Maybe it'll help somebody. If you get help, there's people out here that can help you, and you could go a long way and not be stuck fearing things. And so irrational fear specifically. I'm trying to think what would be irrational that I'm afraid of. I guess some days I just get ahead of myself. Think that irrational? Oh, what's 2 hours going to bring? What's the mail going to bring? What's tomorrow going to bring? There's all irrational. I do this at times. But today I catch myself and go, let me get back here in the day. So that's about what I have to say on this. Go for it.
Shout out to Gene from Beard Cigar Beer.
Hey, Gene.
Very, that's why I want to start that. Nothing to do with Gene. None of this topic, though.
No.
So anyway, let's see. I think there are rational fears and irrational fears. I mean, I think it's rational to be scared of a lion.
Well, I said there could be things that could help you or be good,
Or the police if you have your hands in your pockets.
Oh boy.
Things like that. Those are rational fears, I think. I mean, really, I was trying to think about this, and the only one I could really come up with for myself was flying. I need to get on planes, and soon. I know that. I can't be stuck to ground travel, but, and yeah, that's talk about admitting something on camera. I'm 31 years old. I haven't been on a plane yet.
Well,
I've driven all over the country. Yeah, so that's the irrational fear I have, and it's because of a control thing. You know, you're not attached to anything up in the air. You're floating around. If you crash,
control.
you have no chance of living unless you're, you know, that plane that crashed in the Hudson there. You know, as where I kind of rationalize taking the train, which those derail all the time lately. You know, with well, most of the people on the train survive, so maybe I'll get banged up, but it's all right. Planes, it's like I don't like the idea that I can't fly it, and that you know, if you do go down. I mean, what do you do on the way down? I guess you just say some prayers.
Yeah, well, but like the discussion that we have when this comes up, and I don't know if I'll ever fly. Driving every day is a million times probably unsafer. You know,
oh, it is.
A million times.
Statistically.
What am I saying? Unsafer. That's
unsafer.
Not a word. Unsafer. Forgive me, but you know, it's a million times worse. It's not safe at all. You know, compared to a plane.
Well,
True
you
story.
get in car accidents your whole life and live.
I guess, yeah. That's true. Look at this. We're so busy. We're popular guys. Where were we?
I don't know, but what I was saying is, you know, you could get in a bunch of car accidents and live. So that's kind of how I rationalize, and it's not the right way to look at it, but that's how I rationalize car travel being better than air travel, even though air travel is the most safest form of travel, at least statistically, whatever.
Yeah.
Although I think that brings us up to our next topic,
Yeah.
which is our scariest memories or moments in a vehicle.
Oh, I'll go backwards. I'm going? Yeah. Check this one out.
What just happened here?
Well,
First of all, what's backwards?
I have a list. So, Rob was a car dealer, and he sold my friend, what the hell year was it? 2007?
2006 or something.
6 or 7, a Pacifica. Biggest piece of shit. Up there with the biggest piece of shit that Chrysler and other companies ever built. But the big thing here was that the owner of the company, that no good bastard, who is now, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, deceased, sold the vehicle to my friend with dry rotted tires that were definitely they were thin.
Which I told them ahead of time.
Okay.
I told them.
But that was illegal, and
no, I mean, I told everyone ahead of time. I even told the guy I worked for, you know, these need to be changed.
Yeah, illegal. That's a fact. You know. So, my friend buys a car. Everyone has been informed. So he never gets tires. So we're going up to Route 80, almost to the Delaware Water Gap. We're up near Hackettstown, and it's me, my wife, him, my daughter, and her friend. We were going to get fireworks in Pennsylvania. So I'm going along, and of all things, my friend's sitting next to me, and he goes, "Oh, watch out! This guy's hydroplaning." And next thing you know, I'm hydroplaning with these tires. And I had no chance of not hydroplaning because the tires were no good. Because at this point I wouldn't say they were bald, but close to it, getting there, and dry rotted. I'm spinning around on Route 80. I don't think I was driving too fast, moving with the traffic, which might have been too fast, maybe 50, 55, which maybe we should have been going 30 or 40. So next thing you know, I'm spinning. The only saving grace of this story, 2 saving graces. 1, I hit nobody else, nobody was near me. And 2, they had just put a guardrail up, they said, within a month or 2 of that, because there was a ravine. This is all mountains up there. And I went around and hit the guardrail, bounced the other way, hit it, the back window blew out, everything blew off the front of the car was beyond total. And my wife had a knot on her head, my daughter was bleeding, my shoulder was all black and blue, and my head, my neck it was some accident. It was bad.
And I went up there and got them.
And then he came and got us from the hospital, of which we proceeded to go get our fireworks. Everybody banged up, piled in the car, sitting on each other. But anyway, that was a bad experience. And I want to say that it was the old piece of shit's fault, and that's what he is and was.
Why are you pointing at me?
Well, because
I'm not that guy.
You were working for him. And my jerky friend who has no brains and needs to get help. So that was their fault. And that was the worst. Worst is an understatement. We could have and should have been dead. moving on, at my own hands, really scary moments in the car. It was me and some of the guys, I think Anthony Rossi and Pete, my guitar player, Pete Natal. And we were on JFK Drive in Bloomfield. Now, if you know JFK Drive, and some of you out there that are going to watch do know it, I'm up near St. Valentine's Church. The light goes green. I floor the car. I had a 1970 Buick Electra 225. It had a 434 engine in it. It was ridiculous, big 4-barrel car. I floor the car. I'm going down JFK. I must be up to 60, 70 miles an hour before you go into them bridges. I go through there. I bounce off one curb, bank off another curb, all the way to the next light, which is Belleville Avenue. But meanwhile, Anthony and Pete, they had their feet up on the dashboard, the back seat. They're like yelling, "What are you doing?" And I get to the Belleville Avenue, smoke's pouring out of under the hood. And I don't remember if they jumped out and said, "We're not driving with you now," but it was bad. That was at my own hands. And then it was another moment. I was with Morris, Big Morris Renner.
He dropping points at me and says Big Morris. I don't know any of the Morris.
Right. He was a funny guy. He used to come upstairs when we were little.
How little?
Yeah. Anyway,
you were that guy.
So I'm in the car. Me, Morris, and my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. We're coming down the Parkway near where you get off to go on 280 going north. I have the Duster, the Plymouth Duster. I had a 318 motor, 340 manifolds. It was really, a positive. It was. I'm flying at. I have the needle spin. It said 120, so I had to be doing 135 or 140. And the car's rattling like it was just humming, like it was gonna fall apart around us. And Morris, who not much scared him, let alone me at the time, was like, Rob, you think you might slow down soon? What do you think? Crazy. Didn't get killed there. And then I told the story a couple weeks ago when I had all my friends in the car, and we were going over near Westinghouse over the hill, and the cop came. I was doing about 50 or 60. He passed me and spun around and chased me into East Orange, and I lost him. Same thing there. Boom, boom. I was all. It was crazy. And then one other. I could tell these all night with the car. This is a good topic for me. But I'll give you one other. But I can tell these quick 5, 10 more. I'm out one night hanging around with my nephew who passed away. God rest his soul, Anthony. Yes, unfortunately, I was stupid, about 17, and an idiot. And had some drinks. I think I was drinking blackberry brandy. Wanted to keep warm. It was winter time. It was snowing like this time of year, and the road was just covered where it's really dangerous.
That's why I'm drinking, because it's cold out.
They had the same car that I'm talking about, the Buick Electra, and they had this place, the local 210, where they used to have like underage kids go in there, dance, music, and everybody was getting out. So I'm driving around over there, cruising the girls at the time. And I was trying to be cool. I'm driving in the snow, and I floored the car near Watchung Avenue. Came around, I hit a pole. Oh! Clipped the pole, pushed my bumper and fender all in. I'm like, oh shit, because I know I'm pretty drunk. So and this is an unfortunate story I'm telling because I'm so anti this today in the last 20, 30 years. But so I go up a couple blocks, riding with the fender on my tire. It's ripping my tire up. I get down the side street. I park the car there. I leave. I go over to my sister's house. Marietta lived on the side street there off Watchung Avenue at the time. And my father's there, Marty, and what are you doing? And so I told him, the car's, what happened? And my father went ballistic on me. That's an understatement. So we went over where the car was, and my brother-in-law, ending the story, pulled the fender out enough, and when I was not banged up, I took the car, and the car was a wreck after that. It was really a piece of junk. And, so I could tell a lot more stories with that same car and others, but I'm going to end there. Those were some of the scarier moments.
I only have a couple. One of them was with me driving, but it wasn't scary because it was scary like it was unsafe. It was scary because I thought I was going to jail. And I was coming home from the shore on Parkway North. This was in my 96 GT that I had in that episode about some of our cars. And some guy in a Camaro SS rolled up next to me, and he decided he wanted to race. And I almost never race anybody if I have somebody in the car, which is actually one of the complaints I'm going to make about the next story. But the guy that was sitting next to me, John, who I don't even talk to anymore, he was like, yeah, race him. So there's no traffic, whatever. I don't like Chevys. I said, fuck it, let's do it.
I don't like Chevys.
Can't stand Chevys. So I said, let's do it. We raced from 50. By the time we got up to about 135, it was a pretty good race though, because I mean, I wasn't shaking him, he wasn't shaking me. We were pretty much just dead even up until that speed. But we got up to about 130, 135. All of a sudden, I saw this guy nosedive and just fall out of my view. And I said, what the fuck? And as I looked to the left, there's a state trooper that we both passed.
Nice. That's that.
Luckily, he's on the opposite side of the highway, but he saw us coming because he already had his lights on and he was making his way across the southbound side to try to cross the divider and come get us. Well, the Camaro had done a nosedive and got off that one exit. I won't bother describing the area because none of you will know where this is, but in this one particular stretch of Parkway North that I was on,
Near Cranford,
yeah. There's no exit for over 2 miles.
Yeah.
So the option basically was slow down and get arrested, or just keep going. So at that point I had slowed down to maybe about 100 or 110. I said, fuck this, so I got back on the gas. And I flew triple digits all the way down to the Cranford exit and got off. Right. Just started making rights and lefts until I found a park. And I parked the car and put the top up and walked around for like an hour until the heat died down. Because,
it's like Smokey and the Bandit.
Basically, because I was like, I'm not going to jail.
That's good.
Yeah.
Not good, but funny.
I had a radar detector at the time, but I don't know if the guy didn't have his radar on, or if it was
he didn't need to.
Or I mean. I don't know. Yeah. Either way, I would have went to prison for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was fun.
Oh yeah.
The scariest time of my life was, I guess, I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe 4 or 5. This guy Dan that I used to hang with came up here, and at the time he had an 08 Mustang GT, a red one. He did a bunch of work to it, quick car, and he liked to race everything. Except, unfortunately, he liked to race everything with me in the car. Yeah. Which I don't. I just told you guys that I don't like to fly for control issues. It's even worse if I got to be a passenger in a race and you're driving like a reckless asshole. We were on Route 3 actually, where it gets onto 46. Again, most of you won't know where that is. But
bad area.
A couple of guys rolled up next to us in a WRX STI that they did some work to. So of course Dan was like, "Oh, let's race the Subaru." I'm like, oh, here we go.
Fantastic.
So we, got in it, and the race begun, and we got up to like probably 140 plus, and Dan had about a car length on the Subaru. Well, I told him there was a divot coming up, because I know the road, and he had moved down south a while ago, so he didn't really know what was up here anymore. I said, there's a divot in the road coming, and in the lane that we were in. He downshifted, I guess because we were winning anyway, I guess he was going to slow down, at about 130, and as he was downshifting, we hit the divot that I was telling him about. Well, the car started sliding sideways, and luckily, there was an overpass coming.
Thank you, Lord.
Oh,
Angel,
yeah. Talk about a
you.
testimony. There was an overpass coming, and we were sliding to the left towards where the pillar is for the overpass, but luckily, back tire caught the curb, and started bouncing against that and sent us flying the other way. We actually slid the other way in the road, and we actually skimmed the front of the Subaru asshole's bumper, which they tried to start a fight over that.
Wow.
Which we were like, you guys raced us. We could just call the cops and have everyone arrested if you want.
Wow.
But anyway, so we bounced off the curb, slid the other way, and skimmed the front of their car, which literally was just a scuff on the bumper that they were making a big deal about. He finally got control of the car. He crawled off the next exit, and we wound up in a parking lot because we couldn't take the car anywhere because the back tire was ruined from hitting the curb so fast.
Oh, what a jackass!
The rim was chewed up. It was a wreck, but it could have been worse because if we would have went up on the curb, we would have hit the underpass.
If you all knew this guy, you'd get it.
Yeah, we would have been so extremely dead.
Yeah.
So that was the scariest moment I've ever had in a car. And I mean, if I were to have like honorable mentions or like another 10 stories, all of them would involve the same guy driving. Yeah. So I don't know why I ever got back in the car with him.
It would be me probably, because like I said, I was a moron myself. And thank God, that God's been there with these things, because we should have been dead in a lot of these instances. So that's
but we're still here, so that's nice.
Yeah, we're here, so there's a couple topics for you. I wasn't crazy about the Irrational Fears one, but it's done.
Well, I mean, nobody's excited to talk about fears, but it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
So this was episode 27 of Shooting the Shit. a.k.a. Chat with Pops.
But you can overcome everything. Just remember that. That's right. 27. Just wanted to make a point. You could overcome.
Okay, so this
everything.
is episode 27 again of. I mean, are you done with the episode?
Yeah. Now listen.
'Cause I'm done.
Sign up for Patreon. $1, $12 a year.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
This guy's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. You can learn about all kinds of things, from coffee to watches to cigars. Us talking about our shit. If we entertain you, I'm sure it's entertaining.
Plus, you get access to my giveaways.
all
That's
kinds of
exclusive
stuff.
now for patrons. Although I'm kind of selling this to patrons because you're the only ones watching this, except for the few people you're going to send it to.
Well, you know.
So the few people that he's going to send it to, maybe you could throw out $1. But otherwise, the rest of you, I appreciate you already being patrons and
Yeah.
enjoying these episodes. What I do need you to do, which costs $0.99 if you're a patron already, is leave more topics. So put those in the comments under the video here on Patreon.
There are no fucking words.
Don't leave them. What?
Hi. You're almost done with the fucking whiskey.
I didn't pour a lot.
don't.
Leave them in the comments in Patreon, not in YouTube. Anyway, yeah, cool, great, fucking-tastic.
Oh, please start suggesting other topics. We do have other ones we haven't gotten to. Some of these are sticky, you guys suggested.
I just said to suggest topics.
Okay,
that
well, yeah,
we
we really need that. We you know.
He wasn't here for that.
Yeah, I got lost. All right, well, that's it.